Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera for everyone. Hello, we are from Group 2. Today, we're gonna explain and presenting what is ideology. So before I start it, let me bring a quote from a book written by Suzy Kazem. You are not just for the right or left, but for what is right over the wrong. Suzy Kazem rise up and salute the sun, the writings of Suzy Kazem. So, what is ideology? According from Britannica, ideology is a form or social or political philosophy in which practical elements are as prominent as theoretical ones. It is a system of ideas that aspires both to explain the world and to change it. But today we're not gonna talk only about ideology. We're gonna talk about modernism and postmodernism.
Okay, so for my part, I will explain about what is modernism. So, modernism is brought by the philosophers of the Enlightenment movement, which emphasize the importance of the rational mind in determining the truth, the form of social organization, and so on. The father of modern philosophy was René Descartes, 1596 to 1650. It started around the 18th century with the Enlightenment movement brought by Enlightenment philosophers such as Immanuel Kant in Germany, John Locke, and even David Hume in Britain.
There are three main features of modernism. There is rational, naturalistic, and scientific. The first one is rational. Rationalism means the thinking which is based on reason. Thus, ideologies which can be supported or rejected on the basis of reason will create generic value of modernity.
Today I want to show the part of naturalistic. Naturalism is a philosophical viewpoint that asserts that everything arises from natural processes, rejecting belief in the supernatural. It seeks to understand all aspects of reality, including human existence, through the lens of science and the scientific method. While naturalists deny supernatural explanations, they accept the phenomena often labeled as supernatural can have natural causes that are scientifically explainable.
The history of science is punctuated by not one, not two, but three modernities. The first, in the 17th century, known as the Scientific Revolution, the Second Circle, 1800, often referred to as the Second Scientific Revolution, and the third, in the first quarter of the 20th century, relativity theory and quantum mechanics not only overturned the achievements of Galileo and Newton, but also challenges our deep-set intuitions about space-time.
So now I'll discuss what is postmodernism. Postmodernism is an ideology that emerged in the West during the 1960s as a direct reaction against modernism. Modernism born from the Enlightenment, values reason, science, and the pursuit of objective truth. Philosophers like Immanuel Kant, John Locke, and later Karl Popper believed that through rational thinking and the scientific method, humanity could continuously progress. But postmodernism challenges this idea. It argues that modernism's focus on logic and reason is too narrow, because human beings are not just rational, but also emotional, intuitive, and spiritual. Postmodernists question the objectivity of science itself, suggesting that it is not always purely rational or progressive. Influenced by philosophers like Thomas Kuhn, they claim that science is shaped by social, cultural, and psychological forces. In short, postmodernism reminds us that truth is not always absolute. It can be shaped by perspective, context, and human experience.
As an example, any knowledge that does not have the characteristics of science, then it is not considered science. As said by logical positivism, which rejects metaphysics, etc.
For instance, Ludwig Fleck, a sociologist who studies the history of medicine, stated that if you look closely at the terms and names used in medical research, such as body defense mechanism, you can clearly see the sociology aspect of understanding knowledge through constructivism.
Okay, M1. Thomas S. Coyne argues that the development of concepts explained solely in terms of formal language and mathematics is not possible. It's linked to incommensurable theories and concepts and hence destroys the possibility of reason in the history of science and thought. Coyne wrote on the philosophy of history and science largely ignorant of the fact that philosophers had faced these issues before.
In conclusion, postmodernism and modernism is a different concept. Besides that, postmodernism is a new and energetic voice in philosophy that takes into account a multiplicity of voices and contradictory ideas. In forming narratives, postmodern theorists emphasize problems of language and representation, which can include, among other things, narratives, text, symbolic forms, hermeneutics, and the assumption of social and analysis. More importantly, the root of postmodernism is the search for differences rather than similarities. Hence, the concept of the world having inherent order is summarily dismissed.